What's going on, Team 54? Yeah, ABC 13 flagged my last video and YouTube took that shit down. The video that I just did, When Did Maleah Die, Part 2. So, yeah, I done fixed some shit and uploaded this motherfucker again because we need this information. And all we trying to do is help y'all find this little girl. That's it. So, yeah, here go Part 2, y'all. Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm back. And in that last video, what we did was we highlighted what went on April the 30th, the day that Brittany Bowens left to go to her father's funeral. Okay, so we highlighted that over there. Today, we're going to talk about May the 3rd and the 4th, because I think these are two significant times that we need to be looking into. And I wanted to know how Brittany was moving on April the 30th, and I want to know how she was moving on May the 3rd, May the 4th. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to watch her move, watch what she say, everything. We on her ass over here. And like I said, if they want to exonerate this girl in the public eye, then they need to give us the video footage of this little girl being alive while she was out of town. Yeah. So let's get into this. Let's start where we left off.
What do you think happened to you? What do you think happened to your daughter?
I don't know what happened to her. I can come up with 1,000,001 reasons, but I don't know what happened to her.
Did anybody else find this shit odd? I know I did. Think about what she just said here. The interviewer asked her, "What do you think happened?" She says, "I don't know what happened." She said, "I can give you 1,000,001 reasons." Y'all heard her. I was scratching my head like, what? Reasons? Reasons equal why? He said what? Okay? She told us that she can give us 1,000,001 reasons why this shit happened to her daughter. That's how I took that. That's how I saw that. Yeah. Then we want to hear it. I want to hear it. If you got 1,000,001 motherfucking reasons, I want to hear it. Okay? So in this video right here, like I said, we're going to focus on May 3rd and May 4th. And I know for a minute, I wasn't sure even when she got back. You understand what I mean? Like, when the hell did she get back? So in this interview, this is what they had to say.
So she went on the 30th and came back on the 3rd. And the obituary states he died on the 11th and the services was on the 1st.
So Mr. Quanell X just confirmed that she came back on the 3rd. And I'm assuming that's correct because she ain't interrupt this nigga or nothing. Okay? So she came back on the 3rd. Okay? So let's look at what was going on the 3rd. Because right now we don't know what time she came back on the 3rd. We just know she got back on the 3rd. So let's look at the timeline again. So on Friday, May the 3rd, one of the pieces of footage that we have is Darian leaving the apartment with this blue laundry basket with a black trash bag inside of it. And I believe that's Maleah. That's just my belief. I believe she's in this bag. Okay? So, yeah. Let's listen to what Brittany had to say about the bag.
And then, days later, those pictures surface with Darian carrying the laundry bag with the trash bag inside. When you first saw those pictures, what was your immediate response? And what did you think?
From what I had already known at the time, I couldn't think but ask, is that Maleah? Why do you have that basket when you just got laundry from my mother on the 1st? What are you doing with the basket? What is that? I know our routines. That's not laundry.
Okay, so she calling this nigga out right now. Talking about she know the routine, everything. But what stood out to me the most was the fact that she said, she started to say, we just did laundry. But she stopped herself and said, he went and picked up laundry from her mama house on the 1st. Y'all heard her. So then my question to her mama was, When he came and got the laundry, was Maleah with him? Did you see your granddaughter when he came and picked that laundry up? That's what we need to know. There's quite a few questions that could be answered that will exonerate this girl, and nobody's answering them. Nobody. Okay? And when we see him with this black bag, is May the 3rd at 1:40 p.m. in the afternoon. 1:40. In the last video, I told y'all, look at what he dressed in. Some people pointed out the red on his pants. Like, did he have blood on his pants? I don't even know. I don't know. But that was at 1:40. Now, let's look and see what this nigga was doing later that evening. So here we have Darian leaving May the 3rd at 6:40 p.m. And he leaving with just his son. He done changed his shirt. He got bleach in his hands. And then one of our other family members pointed out that she thought that in his left arm, like he had a white shirt. And she said that could possibly be the shirt that he showed up in the hospital in. And I was like, what, damn. I'm like, if you was just leaving to go to the airport to pick Brittany up, why the fuck did you need extra clothes? Y'all understand what I'm saying? This nigga needed extra clothes? For what? But this was at 6:40, and he told police that he left with Maleah and his son, when no, he didn't. He left with just his son. Maleah was never with him. But supposedly, he's on his way to the airport to get Brittany. But he never made it. Listen to her.
And you were away for a funeral. How did you find out about the disappearance of Maleah? Were you still en route home? Were you still away?
I came home on the 3rd. He was supposed to pick me up. I waited for him for 2 hours. And so I had my mother come pick me up. And I just assumed that maybe he was just driving around, or maybe he was having car issues. I know it was raining that night.
Okay, so wait a minute. She said that when she got back, she waited at the airport for 2 hours on this nigga. A nigga that's driving her car, need I remind you, because what we found out was that the car was registered to her. So you mean to tell me that this nigga got your car and you didn't wait it around 2 hours for him? And then you claim, oh, well, maybe he was just riding around, or, you know, it was raining, he might have had car problems. Like, well, damn, like when it rained, motherfuckers had car problems? And then you thought he was just riding around? How was that when he was supposed to be on his way to get you? Why would he be riding around? Can somebody answer me that? Why would he be riding around? Why did she say that? She then said she had to call her mother to come pick her up. So let me tell y'all something. One thing that I don't play with. If you got my car, your ass better be out front when I walk out the door. Ain't gonna be no waiting. If I walk out the door and my car not out there, it's gonna be a situation. You hear me? A situation. I don't want to wait 15 minutes, let alone 2 hours, for a motherfucker in my car. Okay? So I couldn't understand why she even said that. Like, it was okay. She said it like, oh, well, he must have been riding around. Like, the fuck? Right? What you mean? And he's supposed to be on his way to get you. Brittany full of shit. Yeah, she full of shit. But yeah, let's keep moving.
I didn't realize that they were missing until a few hours shortly.
At that point, what's going through your mind? You can't reach him. You don't know where your daughter is. What were you thinking?
I was terrified. I didn't know what to think. I was trying not to think the worst, you know. Maybe it was a car issues. I don't know.
She said that she didn't realize they was missing until a few hours shortly. I was like, what the fuck that mean? What? Can somebody tell me? A few hours shortly? A few hours short of what? That made no sense to me. And then she keeps talking about this whole car issue shit. And it keeps making me think about his alibi, about the tire being fucked up and all this other extra shit. Okay? And my thing is this, if you just bought this car, because you ain't had this car but a hot minute, if you just bought this car, what kind of problems could you possibly be having? You understand what I mean? She makes no sense. None whatsoever. Listen to what Quanell had to say.
She grew suspicious very quickly upon returning to Houston from Massachusetts because he ceased to communicate with her. He wouldn't talk to her. He wouldn't return phone calls. He wouldn't respond to text messages. He would refuse to meet with her, and he would do everything he could to avoid and stay away from her. And then that's when she grew extremely suspicious and felt that his story obviously must have been a lie, and there was more to it.
Mr. Quanell be doing a whole bunch of talking, don't he? You understand what I'm saying? He be doing a whole bunch of talking. But my question is this. Quanell, can you ask her when she linked back up with this nigga? Because in the reports, it was saying that she claimed she didn't have her door key, so she couldn't get in. Now, we know her mama came and got her from the airport. Where did she go then? So did she go to her mama's house? Where did she go? Where did the mother take her? Okay? And if you didn't have a key to get in, at some point, you got in that motherfucker. At some point. Because she claimed that she stayed there at the house for one night. Like she couldn't take it. So she only stayed there for one night. So when did she link back up with Darian? Because they claim that he avoided her phone calls and all this other extra shit. But he got her car. Don't forget this. He has her car. When did she get her car back? Or did she get her car back? Because we saw that it was abandoned on May the 9th. So all this time that he avoiding you, does he have your car? Where the car at? Now the police spotted this car on Saturday, May the 4th. And the car was seen driving through an intersection in Sugarland at 2:54 in the afternoon. Okay? Darian told us he didn't wake his ass up till 6. But they saw his car 3 hours prior. None of that shit made sense to me. None of it. But I wanted to know, did Brittany link up with him on Saturday? I want to know that. Because let me show y'all what I found. This was a statement put out by one of their neighbors. And the neighbor told this news station that she saw Darian on the patio on May 4th at a time that he allegedly told police he was knocked out along a road in Sugarland. She says that he was standing inside his porch smoking and he looked at us. She said he saw us and he didn't have no bruise or nothing on his forehead. Yeah. I wonder what time this was. Because the car is still on the move at 2:54 in the afternoon, coming through Sugarland. So she's telling us that she saw him. She saw him. And he was at home. He was on the patio, smoking. Where was Brittany? Where was Brittany? Okay? This fucked me up when I saw it. I ain't gonna need to lie to y'all. This fucked me up. Because all this time you got us thinking you knocked out on the side of this road and these people then took Maleah. Your ass at the house on May 4th. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, man. When did Brittany link back up with him? And this nigga had no problem going back to the house on Saturday. Okay? And this lady said that he didn't have no bruise or nothing on his forehead. So who knocked his ass over the head? Brittany? Because she said when she saw him, he didn't have no bruise. But when he showed his ass up at the hospital after 11 o'clock, he did. Same day. Same day. Look at this shit. And the issue that we have with this is the fact that the car that he wanted us to believe was stolen, they seen that car at 2:54, and the same car dropped his ass off after 11 at the hospital. So who had the car? Yeah, who had the car? Listen to what Darian's father had to say about that.
And I'm looking at the pictures that you sent me. Do you know when the pictures were taken? Like, were they taken the day of, or I mean, or I guess the day after
That was taken when at the hospital.
at the hospital?
Yeah,
Okay,
by Brittany.
okay. This doesn't look like it was at the hospital though.
Or maybe they was taken after they left, you know what I'm saying? Where they
Okay.
was taking the date. You see, he got stitches and everything.
Yeah, I saw the stitches. You see that?
Yeah.
So if Darian's father is telling us that Brittany took the pictures, I mean, would that mean that she was at the hospital with him? You understand what I mean? And if that's the case, why would you make him go into the emergency room with the son? Y'all seen when he got out, he had the baby in his hands. Why would you drop him off and make him take the son into the emergency room with him? I mean, he's the one there to be seen, right? He should be fucked up. He got a gash on his head, scratches and shit all over his chest. You make him take the baby in? I'm telling y'all, man, Brittany was part of this shit. The planning, everything. I feel she was. And when the interviewer said, "Oh well, these pictures don't look like they were from the hospital," y'all heard Darian's father. He said, "Oh, well, it must have been taken after they left." So is that confirmation enough to believe that Brittany was at the hospital with him? I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me. I think she was, but hey, you know. And he was right. These pictures don't look like they were taken at the hospital. It's wind chimes and shit all in the background. Type shit. So where was these pictures taken? At her house? At their house? In one picture we see a basket, we see a blue bucket over on the right. They need to be checking all that, all of it. But Darian's father told us that she took the pictures. So how he get that gash on his head? Because now what I'm thinking is that at some point on Saturday, she linked up with him. I want y'all to hear what Darian's father said about the night she was at the airport. Listen to this shit real quick.
Then Brittany told my son, like, the night, like, okay, she said she came home from the airport, right? And she came to the airport and Darian wasn't there.
Right.
She waited all the way to 8 o'clock in the morning to come to my other son's house to tell him that Darian was missing.
What? He just said that on Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, Brittany took her ass down to Darian's brother's house, who lives in Sugarland, at 8 in the morning. And I'm like, well, how the hell she get there? She needed a fucking ride from the airport. How'd she get down to Sugarland? Whose car was she driving? That's what I want to know. Whose car was she driving at 8 in the morning? Okay? Because don't forget, we seen the car at the intersection in Sugarland at 2:54 in the afternoon. Okay? So was she the one driving the car? And don't forget, Sugarland is where Darian wanted us to believe he woke up at 6. Nah, I don't trust none of them, man. None of them. Listen to this.
The media was so heavy on my son's house, my other son's house, that he decided to take his kids and his wife back to St. Louis because they're from St. Louis.
Right.
So let me get this straight. Darian's father just told us that his son, Darian's brother, who lives in Sugarland, when all this broke out, That nigga got his ass and his whole family from down there. So usually when I see things like that, I'm thinking, what you running for? Do you know some shit? He the same nigga that told us his brother innocent. Okay? I don't trust none of them. Not a one. And I definitely don't trust her. I don't. Because on Saturday, May the 4th, Brittany was on the move, y'all. And she was down in Sugarland on the 4th, where this nigga told us he woke up at 6. Where the brother lives. She down there. She done went to the brother house. Okay? And at some point, Darian made it back to the apartment complex. That's what the neighbor said. She said she saw him. Let me tell y'all what this looked like to me. In my opinion, whatever happened to Maleah happened before Brittany even left. Until they could show us video footage of this girl alive while she was in Massachusetts, I'm sticking to this. Something was wrong before Brittany even left. And the way I feel, Darian was left to clean that shit up. And he did just that. So as far as I'm concerned, they both guilty. Fuck it. It is what it is. But Brittany knows what's going on and she playing with us. But we ain't playing with Brittany over here. We ain't playing with none of them. We on they ass over here. So stick with me, man. Ride with me. Because we going to pick these motherfuckers apart. That's what we do over here. So, ride with me.
How were things with you and Darian before you left for your father's funeral?
Let's not speak to that. Let's move
You
forward.
know,
I feel like they trying to set my son up, really.